talking about the relation between the endocrine system and the reproductive system, the testes have the distinction of being an endocrine gland because they secrete testosterone, a hormone that is vital to the normal development of male physical characteristics. The testes' female counterparts are the ovaries. The hormonal interaction between the hypothalamus, the anterior pituitary gland, and ovaries regulates the female reproductive system. The hypothalamus secretes a small peptide, also known as luteinizing hormone, and these hormones are released in short bursts every 1 to 4 hours, and they promote ovulation and stimulate secretion of the sex hormone. The endocrine glands release hormones into the bloodstream, and this allows hormones to travel to cells in other parts of the body. The endocrine hormones help control the mood, the way the organs work, metabolism, growth and development, and reproduction. The endocrine system regulates how much of each hormone is released. I believe that the way it helps regulate birth is by being an essential part of reproduction, growth and development, and besides, the secretion of hormones helps with many things that help with labor, pregnancies, and changes in women's bodies preparing for birth.
The endocrine system is the one that produces hormones and helps in the control of growth, the way organs work, the metabolism and reproduction. It has many parts, and I'm going to talk about just two of them. One is the pituitary that makes hormones like the prolactin, that is the one that the women produce when she's breastfeeding, and the other one is the oxytocin that triggers the contractions during the labor of birth, and the other one are the reproductive glands that both male and women have gonads. These in male are the testes, and women are the ovaries. In these gonads are produced the hormones that make us change during puberty, and women, when they got pregnant, they got an overproduce of estrogen that helps the baby to develop and mature, and this also enables the uterus and the placenta to support the baby and to give the nutrients to the baby.
Hi, this is my answer for the questions. So, as we already know, the endocrine glands play a key role regulating growth, metabolism, and body homeostasis, using hormones that target organs via the bloodstream. Two of the major endocrine glands that are also part of the reproductive system are the ovaries for females and the testes for males. The testes secrete the hormone testosterone, which controls male sexual development, sperm production, and protein anabolism. In the fetus, testosterone primarily ensures the development of the internal and external male genitalia. The ovaries secrete the hormones estrogen and progesterone. The functions of these hormones are to control female sexual development, maturing of eggs, and maintaining female libido. Also, these hormones are important for pregnancy. The ovaries produce progesterone during a certain phase of the menstrual cycle and in the placenta for most of pregnancy. Progesterone causes changes in the uterine lining in preparation for pregnancy and stimulates the development of the mammary glands in the breasts in preparation for lactation. Gonadotrophin-releasing hormone (GnRH) helps control sexual and reproductive functions, including pregnancy and lactation. Luteinizing hormone LH and follicle-stimulating hormone FSH regulate the production of female and male sex hormones in the ovaries and testes, as well as the production of the germ cells that are the egg cells and the sperm cells. Oxytocin is a hormone stored in the posterior pituitary that stimulates the contraction of the uterus during childbirth. In nursing women, the hormone activates milk ejection in response to suckling by the infant. Thanks.
Now that we know the relation that exists between the endocrine system and the reproductive system, let's know how this information and these discoveries can help us, humanity, to prevent or have a birth control. The scientists, with all this information, have created anticonceptive systems, especially the hormonal ones, that affect the endocrine system from the body, especially from the women. Some of these methods are commonly the next day pill or the progesterone pill. These methods have or contain estrogens and progestins that are inserted in the body of the women. These hormones affect the endocrine system of the women, increasing or reducing the levels from progesterone or estrogens in the body of the women. This affects your reproductive systems and affects your brain, creating a state where you can have a pregnancy. These methods have been used for lots of years, and this is the relation that exists between the endocrine system and the reproductive system with the birth control. Obviously, there exist other hormonal methods like DIU or the patch or the ring that also contain levels or insert levels into the body of the women of estrogen or progesterone hormones.
They are related because in the endocrine system there are some glands that generate or produce some hormones, and it depends in woman or in female, because there are some principal hormones from women and some other from females, like the progesterone, the testosterone. That one is from women principally and the other for male. Well, both generate both hormones, but principally one more than other. And the relation is that those hormones help to do some process that are necessary to the reproduction. For example, in males, those hormones synthesize or produce the sperm, and without this sperm, it couldn't be able to live, and vice versa in women. Some hormones that are necessary to the reproduction and the fertilization of the ovulus and all of those things. And how can you relate the birth with this info? Well, artificially or naturally, you can introduce more hormones or some things like that. Well, you can eat some food that can change or something like that with your hormones and regulate the birth. For example, if you want to be pregnant, you have to introduce some hormones, or if you don't want to be pregnant, you introduce some other hormones or something like that relate the birth.
Hi, so basically the relation between the endocrine system and the reproductive system are these two glands, one for the females and one for the male in the reproductive system of each one. So yeah, for the male we have the testes that secrete these hormones that, for example, in the fetus, that these hormones include the testosterone that in the fetus helps the male baby to develop like their parts, like their penis and like the inner reproductive system and the penis. And for the females we have the ovaries that are the glands that secrete these hormones that help the body of the woman to regulate like everything in her to give birth, like the lactancy and all her body, like all her body, the elasticity on the uterus, and the baby stuff in the belly. So yeah, basically it's what they do to in the male. The testosterone helps the baby to like develop the baby's parts like correctly, and in the female it helps to the hormones help to regulate the body for her to give birth or to have the baby, like once she gave birth, to keep her baby like, yeah.